Howdy. Today we're looking at the Falcor. I am very lucky to have a person named Zero Assassin to give me one of the mods I needed. Falcor's a weapon I've been interested in but haven't really spent the time to use, even though I formatted it, but now we've been using it and it's oh so snazzy. It has quickly become my favorite glaive without a doubt. It's just so delicious to use. Now the Falcor is a corpus weapon. You can get the blueprint from the dojo, I believe. And most people that aren't in tune with what is truly cultured will say that it's just a worse version of the Zorus. But real Giga Chads know that Falcor is actually the better one. It has a horrible attack speed, but that's a glaive. We don't care about that. More importantly, only 12% crit chance, a 1.6 crit multiplier, and 34% status chance. The damage is 92 slash, 84 electric, 18 puncture, and 36 impact. So it is slash and electric weighted. So electric on the weapon at base. You also get slightly higher stats on the heavy attack, but we don't really care too much about that. I have heard people say that it has forced electric procs on the normal attacks when you throw it, just throwing it around. But that has not been the case when I've been using it, or at least with volatile rebound. So if I come down here and we equip, say, virulent scourge, right? And we also have like voltaic strike on, so it will have corrosive, but if it were to still have electric on the weapon, then it should apply it. But you can see it does not. So I don't know where some people got that from. It was just like people I was seeing in comments sections of other people's videos, but that does not appear to be the case. However, what is snazzy about it is with volatile rebound, it still bounces. It says it disables punch through. Okay, but Falcor has infinite punch through at base. And Falcor's infinite punch through takes priority over the mod disabling the punch through. So it is quite fancy. And it also has tracking. It is one of the few glaives that enables tracking when you throw it rather than after the first bounce. So if I can throw it, you can see it tracked pretty hard onto those guys. I can throw it at this pillar over here. If I throw it near the left side of the pillar, it'll track right onto that group of enemies, which is very juicy because you can just throw it down the hallway and will just smack into everything it sees. Now, because it has poor crits, you don't really want to build into crit with it, but you can. The first build I want to look at is a pure electric build. Now, something I was reading was some people were saying condition overload doesn't work on the explosions, and I can't really tell if that's the case or not because of how many statuses I was applying inconsistently, so I'm not sure about that. If that is the case, unfortunate, but you aren't applying a million statuses with this anyway, so I'm just using prime pressure point for this video. If you know without a doubt as to if that's true or not about CO, then let me know in the comments. That would be a big whoa. We are going to maximize our status chance because we want to get lots of electric procs. We also want to maximize our electric DOT damage, so we have Shocking Touch and Volatile Strike and Focus Energy for even more electric DOTs because it scales the damage that electric does on the DOT, and it gives us heavy attack efficiency, which we then pair with Reflex Coil so we don't lose our melee combo if we decide to heavy attack. Melee Elemental, so we charge and throw the weapon faster, plus it gives us multiplicative status damage. Volatile Rebound, of course, for the explosions. Prime Pressure Point for damage. Whirlwind is so we can throw it faster, so it goes, hits everything, comes back to us faster. I very much enjoy this. Tennokai is an option, but what I don't like about Tennokai is it only counts as one hit towards Tennokai every throw you do. So if I put this on, and I come over to these enemies and I throw, you can see no Tennokai proc. I hit like a million enemies, right? Still no Tennokai proc. There's the third time. And now in the fourth throw, now I get a Tennokai proc. So I don't particularly care for the Tennokai because it's not super consistent. The heavy attack does have forced electric procs just like Zorus, so you don't need electric on the weapon to activate melee influence if you heavy attack. And this can let you get a free heavy attack, but I still don't really care for. I think Whirlwind is a much better option here. Now, We have nothing affecting our damage on our Warframe at the moment, or a companion. Come over here, simulates. That was 17 enemies and not 20 of them. Highly unfortunate. We'll reset these guys. Now, how did I just spawn in one enemy here? That is, I'm actually brain dead right now. Hold on a second. Take this out. Come down here. You know, I could trim this out of the video, but I'm leaving it in because it's funny. You know, you get to see that I'm dummy dumb. Now I throw it. It starts bouncing around, spreading a bunch of electric procs with all the attacks. But our combo is not built up. We have no armor strip. We have no viral. So this still isn't particularly amazing. And we aren't heavy attacking it either. If I do heavy attack with this, it is going to be obviously a fairly big increase in what damage. You can see now it just one-shot all of them. And we still have most of our combo left. But if I want to be able to do both, I want to be able to do both, but the normal attacks still kill stuff. Like, if I'm going to throw it around and it just auto-targets stuff, I want to actually kill without needing the heavy attack. So. If we come back into here, some other options are... now, if they didn't reach this part, I'm sure some people are screaming their heads off saying, why are you not using a Bane mod? A Bane is obviously going to be a huge damage increase. It double dips on DOTs and it triple dips on DOTs melee influence. But I really hate Banes. I'd rather not play the game than use Banes. So we're going to ignore those. But do keep in mind that they are a humongous badungus damage increase if you care about them. You can replace it by using Roar on your Warframe instead, because Roar works the same as Banes and can double and or triple dip. Where is my big El Poppy Rhino? Here you can see nothing affecting our damage except for Roar, which is at the base 100% strength, so it'll be times 1.5 times 1.5 again, and then with melee influence it'll be times 1.5 again. That's a lot of damage. Now I'm going to go ahead and cast Roar, and now we throw the weapon. Melee influence activates, and you can see it's already significantly more damage. So Bane mods or Bane multipliers will make a big difference, but I really hate using them because it's just inconvenient to always have to switch. So if we come back here, some other things we could do is use the mod. Where is it? Power throw. Power throw. The punch through is pointless because we already have infinite punch through. But on consecutive throw, we get 100% throw damage. And this is multiplicative with other stuff. So it is a pretty huge damage increase. It ends up being 4 times more damage. And the problem is, what do we want to replace? So in this case, I'll get rid of Voltaic Strike. Replace it with Power Throw. Now, how this works is you have to throw the glaive as soon as it returns, right? So you hold the charge to throw it as soon as it already goes out. And you get a special animation when that happens. See how the animation starts being different. I like spin and I throw it, and then I do a freaking barrel roll sideways or something. And now that is going to give us even more damage. I'm not going to cast Roar this time. This time we will just be using Power Throw. It is not wanting to hit these enemies. Probably because I'm holding the melee attack too soon. There it goes. But you can see it actually does some juicy damage. The problem with this is it means you have to really just spam your glaive and not use anything else. So if you're trying to like use your abilities all the time, or use any other weapon or prime or anything, or you're focusing on going in and out of your operator, it kind of gets annoying. Now, there are those that swear by it like it's the second coming of Christ, but I personally don't really care for it, though it can be a nice damage increase. Again, another thing alongside with the Banes that I just really don't care to use because it's not convenience. And I like using stuff that doesn't make my brain hurt. So if we switch back to this, and then we add in something as simple as corrosive projection, this will give a damage increase. Now, I was wrong with how the armor scaling works. It's not a triple damage increase. I had tested it multiple times in the past after the Jade Shadows update with the Lanka and the Bratten and the Burson. And I don't know why my damage numbers were so off, because I was consistently getting around 2.8, 2.9 damage increase, right? So about triple the damage increase because the 18% armor shred. But I don't know why I must have had something on that I didn't know was affecting my damage. But someone corrected me, that's more like a 1.9x damage increase over having no armor. It is still a very nice damage increase. I still don't think that nukes the value of corrosive projection at all, but it is very important to note. So let us attack these guys now that we have corrosive projection, because it will be giving us about double the damage. And you can see it's already much, much better. And when you have your combo built up, that's also going to make a big difference, because most of the time you're going to want to be having your combo built up. So this works quite well with melee frames and stuff like Naramon. So now we have a 12x combo. Sometimes it doesn't like to bounce and hit all the guys, which is annoying. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All we had to do was have our combo built up and add in corrosive projection. Pretty simple. Still no viral anything added into the mix though. You can build it with blast damage. That's an option, but it's annoying because then you have to heavy attack to get influence to start working. But I guess I will go ahead and show that, because I know some people will want me to be showing blast as an option. I still think whirlwind is what you're going to want to use here over anything else, because it's just so very comfortable to have in the build. Now we slap on Vicious Frost plus Volcanic Edge, and because we're going with Blast, you can go Blast Electric or Blast Corrosive to Armor Strip. Now, Blast Corrosive is the main one I wanted to show because I see a lot of people mention that specifically. But then we have to heavy attack to be able to get melee influence going, and that's not the end of the world, but it's just a tad bit inconvenient, if you ask me. But again, not the end of the world kind of sort of thing. Still make sure you have melee elementalist, because that's going to be a very large damage increase. And I can't remember what I was having as the final mod here, right? We've got damage, all the elemental damage and sort of stuff. I'm probably missing something extremely important here. Weeping Winds. So now we come over here, reset these guys. We still have corrosive projection. I'm going to remove that because we have corrosive on the weapon itself now. So take that off. Come over here. Heavy attack. Until we actually get influence to proc. I forgot to put influence on the weapon. Oh my god, that's a yikes. See, one of the main reasons I don't cut stuff out like this is because I'm talking all the time, right? And I don't want to accidentally cut out stuff that's important. So, I don't know. That's a big whoa. There we go. Now, look at this. It's not bad. It's good. Right? But, I don't know. I just don't personally care for the blast on the weapon. And then if you wanted to ignore corrosive and just go blast electric, that's also an option, of course. So you would take off this, and then you just slap in more electric damage because, you know, you want big electric DOTs. Like so. Reset these guys, simulate, and then just to be fair with the electric build, let's build up our combo. I know I did with the corrosive build, but I mean, I did show the electric without our combo built up. There we go. Now we attack. I yet again put my mods in the incorrect order because my brain is smooth. Whoopsies. Oh yeah, you can't do blast electric because it combines. Why is it doing that though? Because I need to move these up, don't I? Yes. Move this and move this. Volcanic Edge, Vicious Frost? And it's still making the wrong element. Well, I guess you can't do blast electric. Maybe I should just cut that out. So another build you can do is gas. And hang on, this is a little wonky here. Ignore that we have a lasting sting here. But we would put on amalgam organ shatter, because I do feel like it's worth building crit somewhat with this sort of build. I'd replace that with that, and then we'll put on blood rush. So now we've got a gassy gas build, and it's also pretty decent. I am going to do a funny gas Lavos build with this very soon. Maybe it'll be the next video after this, but right now we're just showing it with just gas, right? Or just the weapon itself with gas. I really hate how sometimes the bounce gets all messed up. I guess Whirlwind makes that happen more often. So there's the chance that the game hates you and it just screws around with the bouncy bounce. But I still think Whirlwind is worth using. So gas itself is pretty decent, but I still prefer just electric. Just electric is just, it's the way. It is the way. Now, if you were to add in viral damage, that is of course going to make a pretty big difference. So we have an Epitaph Primer here. Come back over here. Simulate these guys. We're going to build up our combo, of course. Like so. Then we add in viral. And now we throw it. That's a lot of damage. And that's still without like a Bane or Roar or something. Very big, whoa, big schnazzy. Now, what I like to use with it, though, is I just build for a melee frame. So if we go to Varuna, we got 4 purple Tau Forge shards for crit damage. So now we go back to the Falcor, take off Reflex Coil and Focus Energy, put on Amalgam Organ Shatter instead. And then what I normally was running is Mark of the Beast, but if you want to maximize your damage here, then I guess you can just put that electric mod back on with Focus Energy. And we're also going to get the damage multiplier from Shroud of Dinar, which is pretty huge. And we can spread stats effects with Fangs of Raksh. Switch here, and we're getting our crit chance as flat crit chance from Wrathful Advance. So now we have guaranteed critical hits and a very large crit multiplier. We simulate the enemy. And then we still want to build up our combo. I screwed up how many enemies I simulated here. That's unfortunate. I apparently seem to do that every freaking time now. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Simulate. Now, we do this. And then we do this. And now we throw it. Of course it doesn't bounce. There we go. Oh, that was beautiful. I'd say that's fairly effective, wouldn't you? Now, what I like especially about this weapon is that you just throw it and let it kill stuff. You don't have to spam your heavy attack. You can just completely ignore your heavy attack even. Just throw it, bounces around, kills everything, comes back to you. So let us go into mission and show it actually murdering stuff down hallways. Here we are. I went with an Oregon survival mission. We did switch back to the first electric build I showed you with the little bit of heavy attack efficiency. Our Rhino has corrosive projection. Other than that, nothing is affecting our damage unless we cast Roar, which I brought Rhino so I can show it with the damage increase from having a faction mod, should you care about that. But even without it, you can see it's killing everything just fine. We don't even have our combo built up all the way yet, not even close. Bouncy, bouncy. Look at those electric procs everywhere. And every single explosion, and when it ricochets, can spread all of the statuses because of melee influence. So it's just constant influence spreading everywhere. I especially love it with Varuna, like I was saying earlier, but I didn't want to show it with Varuna specifically right now because, well, I mean, that's not really fair. Varuna can make any melee weapon broken in the entire game. So it's not exactly special to be able to make this one do stuff. But look, you can just throw it, it'll go down hallway and stuff, bounce around to everything, and just murder all of it. I love, 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 love it. And what I love so much about it is that it feels like a glaive. Like, because it bounces around stuff. Most glaive builds, and by most I mean like literally every glaive build in existence except for Falcor, is made to spam heavy attack. You throw it, spam heavy attack, and it comes back. It doesn't really feel like a glaive. but I like that this really feels like a glaive weapon. And we can, of course, use our heavy attack on thicker guys like I did there on the bombard, because I have the 90% heavy attack efficiency. And we do have a hound here as well to prime. That way we get some level of viral and stuff on all of these enemies. Some very juicy damage. And then we add in roar. Well, now it's just really gonna start decimating stuff. Look at that. Goes all the way down that hallway. Kills the entire line of enemies all the way to where they're spawning from. It's ridiculous. And it's also beautiful and fun. I wish I had known of Falcor's unbelievable power sooner, because it is very satisfying to use. This will probably be my new most used glaive for when I use it, because I quit using other glaives for the most part, got sick of using glaives. But this one is one that is much more interesting. So it's not going to make me want to die in GTA out of boredom from just spamming a heavy attack on a glaive all day. Because you can even throw it and then start shooting stuff. It's a little bit more difficult when you're using it with Whirlwind here, so that's actually one of the reasons why I want to use Whirlwind if you like to use your guns and their stuff. But you can throw it, it'll go down a hallway, and then you just start shooting stuff with your weapons. And then your glaive comes back, throw it again, go back to shooting stuff. It is a very effective strategy for killing everything on the map. How are we getting so many Archon shards here right now? This is amazing. I've been needing Archon shards so badly for quite some time. Now, after this, another video I'm going to do, which I had mentioned earlier, is a Lavos build with the Falcor, and that's going to be pretty funny. It's going to be Lavos with high duration, so we get high status duration because of how Lavos works, and building gas on this weapon, so it bounces around, creates gas clouds, and those gas clouds last like 5,000 years. It's going to be a really, really funny build. So stay tuned for that if you want to see it. Ooga booga. And with the blast sort of build instead of like a gas or electric, the problem is that it just sort of doesn't work quite as well in my experience. Like, you get all the explosions, yeah, but I don't know, something about it just doesn't feel right on this weapon. And there are a lot of weapons that can make use of blast to an absurd degree, but I just don't feel like this is one of those weapons. But though, if you're hell-bent on using blast on it, then by all means, you can make it work just fine. Now, where is this acolyte? Let's heavy attack this guy. Or blow myself up. That also works. That was big scary. Okay, okay, look at this. Oh, yeah. It's gonna kill him just fine. See, and I did 3 heavy attacks, and we still have an 8x combo. Beautiful. If you're using Mad Rai, you can also use this thing where you like slam down and then you build up your combo extra fast. That way you can get your combo back even faster on it. Look at that. You're getting lots of combo. Beautifully delicious, isn't it? So that's gonna mostly do it for this. I should probably, you know, for the sake of showing I'm not like lying or whatever with my build, we'll go back, extract, and then I'll show you that I do in fact just have corrosive projection on Rhino and a Hound, so that nothing else is affecting our damage. Just for those people that might think, you know, that's a little sussy baka that he cut straight into the mission and didn't show what he changed. Hermity Herm. 8 Argon crystals. Let's fucking go. That is what I like to see. Ooh, me, oh my. I don't want to cut it here because, you know, that would defeat the purpose of cutting right back instead of going back and showing that I didn't change my stuff. Not that, like, you know, people normally do that. I guess it's more of a concern of myself, and it's all for myself anyways. Don't worry about it. So you can see here's the random build we had on Rhino. Here is the beautiful Hound and his weapon, and then the Zorus. Delicious. That's gonna do it. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe. Adios.